What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Different Lens podcast. My name is Juan Felipe Sierra. I've been in the entertainment industry for the past 14 years, and this is...
And I'm Daniel. You should nerd. I like games, movies, music, anime, Legos, toys, you name it.
All right, so what do we have in the docket for today?
Well, this is actually your idea.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to pitch your idea?
Yeah. We know that there are times where villains in stories, not necessarily antagonists, but villains are right.
Mm-hmm.
Where the heroes either maintain the status quo or they're just flat wrong. And it's because we are hearing the perspective from their side that we think that they're the heroes. So today, we're actually going to be talking about villains who are right.
That sounds amazing.
Amazing. Who is your first pick?
Oh, you want me to go first?
Yes.
You want me to go first? Okay, I'm going to go with one that I think a lot of people would agree. Magneto.
Of course. Magneto's always right.
Magneto justifies what he's doing every single time he does it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He's defending his people. He's standing up for his people. I think that he is one of the villains that you can arguably say has one of the greater motives. He's just trying to make sure that his people can live freely.
He is a child from a concentration camp in World War II. Like, he saw what humanity brought to the table when it comes to tragedy and disparaging and soullessness. So he doesn't want that for the mutants. And honestly, bro, sorry, this is going to be a little fucked up, but I'm human, you're human, most people are human. Most times I fucking hate people.
I mean, listen, when we think about his motives, I can't help myself to agree with it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a very simple thing, and without getting too political, it's something that it's a tragedy that we still live to this day in various countries, right? And that you see it, the oppression, the control, something that still happens nowadays. Seeing that he was simply standing up for his people, it's kind of like, if you think about it, it's kind of like it's something that could have really happened in real life. Like if somebody just stands up and then it's just against it.
Yeah, it has. I mean, look at, many instances of injustices in the world, and the people who stand up sometimes get labeled as the villain because the people who won tell the story.
Right.
I'm going to go with mine.
Okay.
Tai Lung from Kung Fu Panda 1. I'm sorry, but the way that, I don't even consider him the villain. I think he's a victim of circumstance. I think the person that brought him up to be a villain is Master Shifu. Because Master Shifu, all his life, told him, you are the Dragon Warrior. You're the chosen one. You're going to be the best. You're not going to be unstoppable. You. So when you hear so much, you, and you're the best, and you're amazing, and you're this, and you're that, you believe it. Why? Because if a figure of authority and a person who you like tells you all the time that you're the greatest, and means it, you're gonna feel like you're the greatest. And when you get robbed out of something that, since you were born, you were told this is yours, you deserve it, you are the chosen one, and when you're not chosen, it's like, what? It's a crisis of identity, of what was all this for? So it breaks. The person gets desperate, or the animal in this case, they have an aggressive tendency towards that. I don't know if you have to...
No, I do agree, because and we can make examples of your day-to-day life where you could see this happening, right? At somebody telling you, let's use, for example, an actor, right? Like an actor or an actress that gets so, high up and it becomes a superstar, and then out of nowhere, one mistake, and then everybody just brings them down. It's like the whole world comes crashing after everybody was telling them they were great, but they happened to say something that people disagree with, and
did something that legitimately gotten them out.
Right. But some instances it has happened where it's something very small, and it's just whoop.
Oh yeah, and then they're gone.
The whole entire thing just falls.
Like the House of Cards. Yeah.
So I'm sure that being built to be the greatest, the biggest, the baddest, and then just get that stripped away like that, I think I would crash too. I'll crash out.
Yeah, it's a crisis of identity.
I think we're just gonna validate the crash outs of all the villains.
Yeah,
and simply
to a certain degree. Their actions are not the best, but their intentions or the way that they were brought up I think that's the thing that
like the what led up to them blowing up. It's what we're gonna try to justify, but not necessarily agree with the way they carried it out.
Correct.
Because obviously a genocide or
or
eradication of a whole entire
Yeah.
race is not something that we're gonna say good or murdering or or sacrificing for that matter. But the little things that have added up to get to that point. The next one, I do have them in a different order here, but I'm going to go with this one, which is, and this is going to be starting early. I'm going to throw this one early. Marlene. But hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out.
Okay.
The reason why I say that, right, or why you can kind of see her as a villain, right, which she is not, right? I think we can all agree that she's not necessarily a villain.
Not necessarily.
But in the eyes of Joel, she is.
Yeah.
Because she wants to sacrifice Ellie for the greater good.
Yeah.
Now, in the eyes of Joel, right, it becomes a villain throughout the circumstances that happen in the game. So as the game progresses, at first he sees her as whatever, just another person giving him a task.
Yeah.
But as the game progresses, he eventually starts, with the circumstances, kind of getting close to Ellie. And then at the end, he sees her with these eyes of like, this is my enemy.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a transition that I like. And that's the reason why I say she's kind of like a villain, because the circumstances that led to him seeing her as the bad person, when in reality, he was the one that fucked it up, in the sense of not allowing them to try it out and see if maybe it was a cure, maybe it wasn't a cure.
From Marlene's perspective, she's a survivor. She's been surviving for 20 years, just like Joel did.
Correct.
But she took up the mantle of saying, no, we need to lead people and we need to get them out of misery. But again, it goes too far. Then it's, oh, you don't want to be with us? You're the enemy. You don't believe in exactly what we believe? You're the enemy. You're going to betray us. You're going to stomp on us. You're going to sacrifice us, whatever it is. I understand that she wanted to try with Ellie. But first of all, she betrays what Ellie's mom told her. Just take care of my daughter.
Right.
And not take care of my daughter. Yeah. So that's first. So she is going to break her oath. Second, you're having a heart surgeon try to develop a vaccine in a short amount of time with technology that they don't have.
Yeah.
They're not going to make a cure. And even if they did, that's when humanity strikes again. As like, oh, now you have to be loyal to me. You have to subjugate to what I believe if you want to be saved. So I think that Joel was right. I think that Marlene was right in the ideals of it. In the execution, poorly. Not only from what I said, but also because humanity's got a humanity.
When we look at it a different and try to get in all perspectives, we also have to try to get in the perspective that what they see, what she saw, and in a world where she has survived for 20 years with everything that's going on, it's also, this might be that one chance. Yeah, we have one small chance that this could work. As a survivalist, I think she also understands it might not work. We've been doing this for a long time, so we got to give it a shot.
A glimmer of hope in a river of shit.
Yeah,
it's you're willing to do whatever it takes.
Right, which also kind of brings it up real quick. The Last of Us Part 2, with Abby going on a hunt for revenge, for in her eyes was the right motive, right? Stopping humanity from possibly developing something and then killing her father. All these things add up.
Yeah, sorry. I don't think she cared about the cure. She cared about more that they killed her
father.
dad.
The father, yeah. But she was still with the Fireflies. She was not with the Fireflies. She was with the...
with the army, with that other army.
That's not the Fireflies. What's the name of them?
It was
They have a name.
Yeah.
They have a name. They have a name. I'm sorry. They have a name. Anyways. But yeah, I mean, they're survivors as well.
Yeah.
They're a group of survivors, and obviously she's going for a quest for revenge, whatever, the whole thing. But you can see also she has a motive.
Yeah, no, she definitely has a motive.
And it's like, she is technically the villain of the game when you look at her from the perspective of Ellie. But that's the whole thing about, I think, most of the villains is we get one side of one perspective, right? And then when we start trying to think of their perspective, it's like, okay, what will you do?
Yeah.
If they take down your mother or your father.
Yeah, no, that's what makes really good antagonists and villains, is the fact that you do see that glimmer of humanity in them. Like the voice actress Grey Delisle, who plays a lot of villains.
Yeah.
she said in an interview that every villain that she portrays, she brings the humanity out of that character. They're not just bad because they're bad. They're bad because of a reason. Like Azula is trauma. Lady Briarwood is love. She plays a lot of villains that they have a motive. They have that spark that you could be like, fuck, yeah, I understand.
Yeah. I feel like The Last of Us is very conflicting when we try to think about who's right and who's wrong.
Yeah.
Because you can argue all of them could be bad at some point.
All of them are. I mean, even Joel, like you see the part when in the car where he's like, oh yeah, I've been on both sides. Mr. Freeze, his wife, the Cure, the guy that he trusted with helping him cure his wife, not only tried to kill him, but try to kill her. We have seen in many instances in the Batman comics, in the Batman animated series, and especially in the Batman animated series, that he is a very compassionate person. Like, he's just means to an end. But when those means are not about what he needs for the end, he doesn't hurt anybody. He actually tries to help other people. He is not such a vengeful person that he's just trying to kill. It's like, I'm doing research and I'm going to test it on as many people as I need in order to get to my wife. And that's noble. Again, we're not condoning it. And we are not condoning it.
Yeah, because I would argue then, what would you say that he's right? He has a very selfish motive. So what would you say he's right?
It's a selfish motive, but you also got to think about if he is able to cure a terminal disease with cryogenics, with all of his research, how many more people can he save with that research? Okay. How many more, not only with the same disease that his wife has, but of terminally ill patients that could get that. I mean, there are certain things that they require a lot of cold in order to get removed safely. Now imagine that where you can isolate, let's say, for example, isolate a cancerous cells and just freeze those and not have to like radiate the body where you have to kill a bunch of other cells.
Correct. And I guess the question would be, well, what if it doesn't work?
It's the same case that The Last of Us. But he is an actual doctor in his field.
Right.
And he is like, that's why I think he's such a compelling character, is because he himself knows that this is all an experiment. And just like in every scientific method, it could fail. Yeah. But it could also work.
It's because it's difficult to argue that he was right or he is right. The motive that he has is a lot more selfish. And I understand you're saying that he could potentially cure more people, but it's a selfish motive, right? Because at the end of the day, what he cares about is his wife.
Yeah, correct.
Compared to some of the other ones that we have in the list, they have greater motives, right? That I guess would encompass a bigger amount of people.
I mean, if you also think about, if you remember, I forget the name of the character that betrays him, something Boyd. That guy was like, he got the key to the city and he was praised as a humanitarian, whatever, until Mr. Freeze said, no, he tried to kill me. Like, this guy's not a good person. Whatever you say out there, kind of like Rick and Morty, when he says, like, boo me all you want, I know the things that you applaud, is the same thing. He exposed the hypocrisy of somebody, everybody was praising him for being a humanitarian when he was actually trying to kill people.
Okay. Let me bring now a movie, Cusco's, The Emperor's Grove of Cusco, Cusco's Emperor's Grove, what is it called?
The Emperor's New Groove?
Emperor's New Groove, right? Isma was right. At the beginning of the movie, we see Cusco, and he's a dickhead. Straight up a dickhead.
Oh, a fucking dictator.
He's a terrible emperor, right? If they don't do things the way he likes, he just throws them out the window. He doesn't care about his people. He doesn't care about anyone. And he wants to put a resort on a mountain where the farmers live. Isma wants to get rid of an emperor who, if he would have continued on that path, would have become an absolute tyrant, because he was a person that didn't care for anybody. He just cared about himself, wanting to get the best things out of for himself. And throughout the movie, becoming a llama was actually the way that he was able to get close to the farmers and see, wow, the people actually matter. And then he has a realization. Obviously, Isma has her things as a normal villain.
Yeah,
right?
She's extremely cruel too.
Absolutely. But at the same time, she's trying to stop someone from becoming a tyrant who doesn't care about people. at the end of the day, she's wanting to stop him.
But she's wanting to stop him so that she could be the ruler, but still be cruel. Because if you think about it, she was willing to kill kids. Like the Pacha's kids, he was like, bro, we need to end these kids. When she was sitting on the throne, she was being a dictatorial person as well. So I don't know if she was right. She might have been right in the sense that, yeah, this guy's super cruel. But at the same time, her motive is, I want to rule.
Right.
It's not that I want to save people. It's that I want to rule.
Correct. It's because it's difficult to, again, we're trying to defend, right, their point of view, but she may have been a little bit more, because I feel like, obviously, in order for you to rule, you also have to have a little bit of cruelty. You can't just be 100% compassionate about everything that you do.
Yeah,
you can't do that. Yeah. That's a harsh truth to accept, that you have to have a little bit of that. But then you go to an extreme with the Cusco at the beginning, which is, I don't give a fuck about anybody, right? I don't care about anybody.
But she doesn't care about anybody either.
Right, but we don't know what she would have been as if she would have been the ruler. Who knows what she would have done? Yeah,
but we saw a microcosm throughout the movie of the kinds of things that she was willing to do.
Yeah.
If she's willing to kill people just because they're in her way, she's no better than any other ruler.
I still put it in there just because she had a motive with Cusco, though she was trying to do it on her own way. But again, we don't know the circumstances that led to her being the way she was. And I guess it can also be comparable to, again, The Last of Us. We don't know what her real motives were or anything like that, because we don't get that backstory of what led her to be like that or what she wanted to do either. Her ambitions of what else she envisioned for the whole thing later on. We don't know what it would have been like. We just know that she was not good. She's the villain. She's obviously going to be doing bad things because she is the villain. But at the end of the day, also, she would have stopped someone who would have been probably even worse. Because if you think about it, a Cusco that continues on that path would have been really bad for the rest of the people, because he would have just destroyed everybody.
Yeah, that I agree.
For his own good, because that's the only thing he care about.
Yeah, for me, in that sense, Lex Luthor. If you again, we see it from Superman's perspective, where these fucking guys is trying to piss on my parade every time he gets. Imagine a being that is so absolutely godfully powerful that he could erase every single person in minutes. He could extinguish all life on Earth in an hour.
Yeah.
How terrifying is that prospect? We saw it in Batman v Superman. Batman was saying, if we have 1% of doubt, we need to take that as an absolute certainty. That's the whole quote. Now imagine that. Imagine somebody so unbelievably powerful. Lex Luthor is a brilliant character.
Yeah.
He knows what the possibilities are.
Yeah.
So it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, we got a little bit of that on the last movie.
Yeah.
Where he studied Superman really well and was trying to figure out everything about him. Yeah. And I think that was really cool. That was a really cool way of showing that part of him.
Yeah.
You know, the tactician side of it.
Yeah.
He also has his motives, his own betterment, his own growth, personal growth, business-wise, with money and everything. It's, at the end of the day, it's everything about him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right? And, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll do you one better. Right? I'll up you one. Ozymandias. From The Watchmen. Now, he's not a good character whatsoever, but also it's one of those characters that said, Dr. Manhattan, you can even argue Dr. Manhattan is basically a god. The prospect that a god can just go like that and then just splatter people like nothing, it's also a big issue. Now, he always has had his opinions and his own logic, but his own personal interest ahead of everybody else's. I mean, for one thing, Ozymandias is one of the smartest persons in the world, a genius. He wears purple and gold because he wants to embody, right, royalty and gold. And at some point, there's a comic where he tricks people because there was going to be like a nuclear war, and he tricks them by letting them know that aliens were going to come and invade to stop that war. So technically, he has the best interest of himself for everything that he does. But at the same time, he's that one person that, and then this is going to be a little bit of a dark example, right? And then you can tell me, what do you think? And how would you handle it? But let's say the sun stops working today, right? There's no more sun. Ozymandias, or you, you realize that torturing people and the chemicals that are released from their body, it's enough to power, I guess, give a source of power that allows us to have like a fake sun. But you have to torture thousands of people for the billions of people to live. Would you be okay torturing hundreds of thousands of people to ensure that the billions of people continue to live in this earth?
Yes, but I would do it randomly. I would do it indiscriminately so that it doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, black, white, whatever. I would okay, so you torture them, and then I would say with the bodies, you cremate them, you plant trees, or you do something to commemorate them.
Let's say,
because at the end of the day, it's a valiant sacrifice.
Right. Let's say after that, they're dead. And then in the outside, right, everything is perfect. Everything is back to normal. Everybody has a perfect life. There is trees. There is everything. Everybody's being productive. Nobody's able to know is what you're doing underground. Would you be okay with that?
I wouldn't be okay with it, but if it's necessary,
it's a moral complex, a moral decision, right? That makes it harder.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like Immanuel Kant said, like with everything in morality, like the first thing is that all human life shall be respected.
Right.
But at the same time, like, little ears.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like.
Right. So Ozymandias is a character that is not good, right? And he puts his interest ahead of everybody else's. However, he also tries to make sure that, if, this is going to create or kill so many X or Y people, and it's not going to be helpful for me, then I shouldn't let it happen. So in a way, he is good and bad at the same time. And he was part of the Watchmen too, but, he's good and bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I love these like morality questions because there's no right answer.
Yeah.
There's no right answer.
Hello. Hi.
I hear the cat on the tail is covering it. Cat anus. Just a blur effect. So okay, I'll do you another one. It's still from the comics. Poison Ivy.
Mm-hmm.
Her whole thing is that nature is being harmed by people, and she wants to protect what is called the green.
Yeah,
which is like all plant life on Earth.
Yeah,
I agree with her. People are fucking assholes.
I see her. Listen, friend, you gotta go. Anyways, I see her motive. I see her motive as more.
I just remembered the what is this thing called? The Budapest Hotel.
Oh my! The cat out of the window. No, I definitely see her.
Yeah,
I can say 100% she is a villain. That she's right. Every single villain has her own motives and the bad stuff that she does. But overall, she's doing she's trying to protect the plants.
Yeah, and if you think about it, she is like whenever they don't depict her as a villain, as like a straight up villain, she's always helping someone. She's always being a helping hand to those that she cares about.
It's so funny that she's sitting there.
That's right below the cat. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go with Cole Kessler from Infamous. The villain of Infamous.
Oh, the first one or the second one?
The first one.
Okay.
He's the protagonist and he's also the villain. The reason why is because it's a version of him from the future that travels to the past. Okay. Because there is in the future, there's going to be, right? He marries the love of his life. He has a happy life, but then there's a tragedy in the future. And in order to prevent this, he goes in the past and gives the power or creates the bomb that creates the powers for himself. Mm-hmm. So he can then sacrifice all the people that he sacrifices to avoid the future from that grim
cataclysm.
Future.
Yeah.
Right. Then we have the question of the timelines. Something that is bound to happen a certain way. Can it be changed? The events in the future are directly affected by the events in the past. And the same can be said that the events in the past are directly affected by the events in the future.
Puta.
She just wants to be part of the video today. What can we say? Would you be able to justify yourself being the villain to save the future? It's kind of like saying like Cable goes back to the past, right? And annihilates a bunch of people to save his future. Selfish motive in a way because he's saving his future by sacrificing tons of people in the past. Would you say that is a justifiable reason?
If he has evidence, if there is evidence of it, not just someone being like, "Oh, yeah, I'm from the future, fuck you, pa." If there is actual evidence of it, yeah, I can totally see it.
Because it's not like Trunks. The Trunks go back and ask for help, and they're all helping him. This is more like I go back and I had to eradicate a bunch of fucking people.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Code Geass, Lelouch of the Rebellion?
Have it on my watch list, but no.
I'm going to throw out a spoiler. The main character becomes the villain in the eyes of the world, but he's the actual hero. He sacrificed a bunch of people, but liberated them all.
Yeah, similar. Very similar.
Very similar. I wouldn't care if I become the world's villain and they fucking detest me for the rest of my life and for the rest of history if they're safer than before I did what I did. This is one of the things that I love about not only the way that we think, but also philosophical quandaries in general. My philosophy professor in college, for the life of me, I cannot remember his name, but he had such a profound impact on my life to the point where at random in some classes he would be like, okay, this is a hugely difficult topic. You like this side of the classroom is pro, this side of it's against, and you have to prove the other side and how they're wrong as well. I wanted to be that person that said, like what we just did, but what if? Roy Batty from Blade Runner.
I do not remember very well the original one. As a matter of fact, I barely remember
2049.
It was a beautiful movie, by the way. I love it. Spectacular. Sorry, you just made me remember because the visuals are so beautiful. If you haven't watched The Watchmen, I highly recommend it. Zack Snyder did a phenomenal job, and the visuals for the movie were amazing.
The visuals were great. The storytelling was terrible.
It was low. It dragged a lot, but the visuals. I'm talking about visuals.
Yeah.
The visuals were great. Dr. Manhattan looked incredible.
That's always something that Zack Snyder has had, and he is all about the visuals. And I love that about him. He should be director of photography. He knows how to capture that.
Some of the scenes that he has in that.
Yeah, but his writing is lacking.
Watch the animated one, sorry.
Yes.
That one is good.
And the series as well.
Okay, I started, but I didn't continue.
Yeah, the series is really good. So Roy Batty from Blade Runner, his whole thesis, basically, okay, you're hunting replicants down. What happens if you capture them all? Why do you care if someone is a replicant or a human if you have to go through a whole host of things to determine if they're different or not?
Nah, yeah, I remember now. Okay.
That's what his whole thing with Tears in the Rain is. At the end of the day, who's going to remember? If they discover all the replicants, their humans are going to die off eventually. Replicants could still live on. So why are you so concerned and so prejudicial to replicants? And this is something also that I love that years later, 30 years later, people knew about, and is that Deckard is a replicant. So the whole, he ended up being so right that for 30 years, people thought that Deckard was a human when he was a replicant. So he was 1,000% right. And that's why I love that central conflict of the whole thing is, and?
Yeah.
Who cares? Why do you care so much? And we see that going to this day with other issues, again, not to get too political, but other issues where it's like, why do you go into this super niche thing and blow it out of proportion when at the end of the day, you're going to look for something different? Because before that, it was this. Before this, it was the other. Before the other was the first one. So it's a never-ending cycle of just wanting to just bitch, complain, and just sell shit on the behest of people's lives, identities, freedoms.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of the game in PlayStation that I can't remember right now. Connor is one of the characters, which is a cop, and it's action. It's like decision ones, kind of like the decision effects.
Detroit Become Human. Yeah.
Have you played it?
No, but you talked about it on a previous episode.
I praise that game so much.
Yeah.
It's an amazing game where basically the robots start to become, I guess, aware.
Sentient,
and that's, with the whole situation of them being abused by their masters, being, put to do things that they're, they don't want to do. And then they become aware or sentient, like you said. And that whole thing is when they start becoming the villains, but they're not. They've never been the villains. The villains have always been the humans that created them, and the humans that buy them and treat them like shit, that abuse them, that use them for these things, and it's slowly, we're going to slowly getting closer to a future that looks and resembles the things that the movies were saying not to do.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Like that's one thing that I'm like, who in the 80s saw when the AI, when Skynet is killing everybody, and he said, I want that.
And you know what? It makes you think. It's like, maybe they were time travelers and they knew that something's going to happen in the future, because little by little it's kind of starting to fall through the same exact thing. Like
I don't know if time travel, but I love that people that are students of history see the same things.
Let me be a dreamer. Let me believe that maybe time travel existed. Starts playing the music of the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
All right, and then to close, I have obviously wanted to talk about one of the biggest franchises in gaming history, Edgar Ross, Red Dead Redemption. Okay. He was a villain that was right, because at the end of the day, when we play games from Rockstar, we are usually playing the bad guys. Seeing the good guy being the villain or being the bad guy becomes so normal in GTA or in Rockstar games that you're just like, oh, these cops or these guys. But at the end of the day, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
you are the outlaw.
Criminals. Yeah.
You are the criminal. Franklin, and I just wanted to point this out. I want to see if I can leave it in the comments, but I found a TikTok not long ago that has the point of views of the citizens, like the characters seeing everything happening in the GTA world, and it's
terrifying,
crazy.
Yeah.
You're just like, they're like walking around with a coffee, and then you just see a car and like takes like 20 people, or like a rocket just flown out and like a bunch of people just fly out. It's like, and then you see the NPC kind of like react. It's like you spawn to literally get blown up, and then you despawn, and kind of like the Free Guy movie. I love that movie. It's actually pretty good. But technically speaking, if you really think about it, the characters, right?
Oh, these guys are psychopaths.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So in Red Dead Redemption, you're playing as John Marston, and then you're trying to end the rest of the remaining of your gang, the Vanderlyn gang, because they're holding hostage your family.
The cops are holding hostage. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, right, when they're trying to end them, it's because they're a gang of outlaws.
Yeah. For sure.
Right? From even if you play Red Dead Redemption 2, you've seen the things that they've done, right? So you do those things, you play those missions, you do those things, you kill people, you kill tons of people, right? Same thing in Red Dead Redemption, the first one, you kill tons of people. So at the end of the day, even if Ross had terrible ways of doing things, he was not necessarily the villain. He was just a cop.
Abusing his power.
But he was trying.
Got results.
Yeah,
but he got results.
But at the end of the day, he was trying to do the right thing, which is stop the gang member.
The only thing that, like, and this is why I love Red Dead Redemption 2 more. I love the fact that if it wasn't because of facing his mortality, I don't think Arthur would have changed.
Mm-hmm.
So you see him live with the consequences of his actions, not as much as John Marston did. But I love also in Red Dead Redemption 1 when John Marston goes into Mexico to overthrow the dictator, to put a government that you don't know if it's going to be better or worse. In some sense, it's going to be a lot worse. In others, it's going to be a lot better. So I love the fact that it's like, yeah, you helped the revolutionaries. We're going to kill everyone. It's like, whoa, you know?
So where can they find you?
Me on social media, you can find me as Juan Sierra Cortez. On PSN, Juan Sierra Core. If you ever want to play Marvel Rivals, Arc Raiders. What about you?
Dan Valder in social media, or Dan Valder in PSN. And that's pretty much it. And you can find us in TikTok, Instagram, and here as the Different Lens Podcast.
Thank you guys so much for being here with us. Leave in the comments other villains that are right, or maybe heroes that were wrong the entire time. But we were just looking at their perspective.
We should really visit one of those. The villains, the heroes that were wrong the whole time.
Yes.
Spelunky.
I have no idea who that is. But thank you. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you next time. And goodbye.
Peace.